In over 5 years of making TFT guides, I have not found a comp that is this overpowered and this underplayed. If you're looking for a comp to one trick and just dominate and climb like 300 LP in a single play session, look no further, we found the comp. Because Vex is so disgustingly OP right now, I don't know why not everyone's playing this every single game. I played it once and I immediately stopped to make this video for you all so you know, and I might just play this comp every single game. I'm being that serious right now. The game we're about to see, I feel like I played really badly in it, and also I got pretty unlucky. And despite all that, my 1-star Vex just stabilized, my 2-star Vex completely destroyed everything. Again, it's pretty uncontested. And for the most part, I've been playing all the other random comps like Vayne reroll, that's my favorite before, Veigar reroll, Twist of Fate reroll, Zeri with Exotech. But the thing is with Exotech Zeri, you need the Hollow Bow, you can't play it without it. So I was thinking to myself, all these comps that I just named, none of them are just like the standard go level 8 comp that you could like play pretty often in worst case scenarios, because unless you get Hollow Bow, you can't do that with Exotech, and that's the only 4-cost build that I listed out of all like the good comps right now. But with Vex, this changes everything because there now is a comp that you could just go into. So we are on 2-1 right now. I have a bow, so I probably wanted to do some sort of like reroll comp with Vayne or something like that. But because of the augments, like I probably have to fast 8, like I'm probably gonna take Shopping Spree. And the good news is that I have Hollow Bow on 5 Exotech, but end up taking Shopping Spree, rerolled the other ones. Not sure if this is correct or not, but who cares, right? But because I took 10 years to pick my augment, the round starts and I didn't have time to fix up my board. So that's already pretty bad. But luckily, like go into the team planner, find my Exotech preset, and go from there. Like I'm probably gonna use this bow for Rage Blade with Zeri, and then use the chain vest for maybe like a Protector's Vow, use the glove for like IE. Nothing is out of the ordinary so far. In my next shop though, I don't really get anything that I want, so I kind of stick with this board. I get like the Mundo 2 in there, I have the 2 Bruiser with the Shaco. I scout around a little bit. By the way, pro tip, you could right click on people's like Jaxes on their bench and figure out what Exotech items they have, and if they don't have Hollow Bow or whatever is the best on that patch, you know that they're probably not going for it. So that's like a nice little trick you could do, like what I'm doing right now. This person gets it on 7, so if they are going to go for it, they're going to go pretty deep into it. So it's just a way to figure out who's contesting you and who's not. In this next shop, not too much I want either, but I just realized we haven't talked about the actual comp yet. But go on bunnymuffins.lol, go on the tier list, look for Vex. I have Vex in the A tier right now because I think if she is contested, it's going to be A tier, but right now it's like S tier if it's not, and right now it's not. There's 2 versions of it, 5 Exotech and 3 Exotech. 5 is easier to play because you get all like the cheap Exotech units, which is pretty nice. A lot of 3 costs, some 4 costs. And then you just add in some Divinicores such as Vex, Morgana, and Gragas. This gives you Bruiser, Dynamo, and also obviously Executioner, while Vex is like the main carry. And then if you get a lot of gold and you could push like high levels, get a bunch of legendaries, going 9 and going to 3 Exotech also works out pretty well because you could add in Viego, Aurora, Renekton, Urgot. Like there's so many different legendaries you could play. I have a whole list down here in the how to play section. Kabuko works, Zac works, like Garen works. There's like a lot of different options here, but essentially like the main point of the build is to get a blue buff, drop it on your Vex, put AP on her, put Guard Breaker on her, put Hextech Gunblade on her. A lot of different item builds work. Just put a bunch of AP and damage on her. Varus items are pretty flexible. I have like the Static Shiv red buff combo on him right now, just as like a utility unit, but if you 3-star your Varus, you could build him more like damagey. Maybe go like a Shojin, Rabadon's. Hyperfang also works if you don't have Hollow Bow. Nashor's Tooth, Giant Slayer works pretty nicely on Varus. And then on Sejuani, just like whatever tank items you get, throw it on Sejuani. Protector's Vow going to be great. Whatever you get from Exocorp is going to be great. And yeah, just any generic tank going to work perfectly fine. Aurora, Morello if you don't have it on Varus. On Viego, get like the Edge and Night combo going. Renekton, AD Bruiser item's going to be fine. But this comp really wakes up when it gets certain augments such as Blue Battery, Board of Directors, and things like that, but the real only requirement is the blue buff. Unfortunately, Adaptive Helm and Shojin, they're not viable replacements. Like it's really only blue buff. If we check the data on this, like with the blue buff, you average like a 4.22. Without the blue buff, it goes down to 4.67. And if we look at Spirit Shojin and like Adaptive Helm on her, like it's just not clapping the same. Like 4.63 Adaptive Helm, 4.72 Shojin, you have to have the blue buff. And I know that sounds bad because a lot of people are going to say stuff like, hey, I can't get tiers or something like that. But guess what? As long as people are playing Vayne, people are playing Twist of Fate, They're going for bows and rods on Carousel. Same with Zeri. Like, they all need Rage Blade. Everyone's going to go for that. And that means the tiers are going to be yours in a lot of cases. But let's see how bad this game goes for me, and we'll see how it can kind of recover from that. So I already griefed my like full lose streak. We're going to do like a lose, win, lose. Like, you may notice I didn't level up early on because with Shopping Spree, I feel like you want to get a big econ guaranteed. So I like doing lose streak start. Unfortunately, like, we don't have that. But the reason why I like that is because you absolutely need to get to level 8 with a lot of gold. If you don't get level 8 with a lot of gold, you are going to be completely screwed because you're wasting most of your augment. The way I like playing Shopping Spree the most is either fast aiding or doing like a 3-cost reroll. That's why, like, you could go level 7 with Shopping Spree. It's not that bad. Like, I prefer other augments, but it's pretty doable. But here I'm just shifting out my old Exotech team planner for the new one, take out Nefiri for Vex, and then just add in all the legendary units after that. And what's really unfortunate is that we lose by a lot of units in most of these fights. Like here, I pretty much lose by 5 units, and then we end stage 2 with 74 life. Like, I've been in worse situations. I've been like 60 some life before, but it's not good if you don't have a full streak, this 74 life total. You'll see how scuffed it is later. But here I get another bow and a belt, which is really bad because you just need tiers. Like, you can have infinite tiers. Always take tier on Carousel. Here's why. So you need the blue buff, obviously, but what if you get too many? Because sometimes, like, if you go for Rage Blades on Vayne and Twist of Fate, like, if you get too many bows or too many rods, sometimes you can't use all of them. But tiers are so good in this comp because you could build the blue buff, you could build a Protector's Vow, you could build a Static Shiv, you could build a Redemption, you could build even like an Adaptive Helm on your front line. Like, there's so many different things you could build with it. You could build Hand of Justice on Viego later on, like, unlimited options. So always take the tier. I make a mistake here, by the way. Like, I build Sunfire Cape. I don't know if I should have done that. I should have just built the red buff, I'm pretty sure. And then either build like Warmogs or a Guardbreaker. Honestly, I think I should have just slammed the Guardbreaker because if I'm playing Executioners, it's going to be useful on both Varus and Vex. Like, both of them use it really, really well because they have the auto crit from the trait, and then, not auto crit, but like their abilities can crit from the trait. And then whenever that happens, you always want a Guardbreaker. It's going to be the best item. But on this next augment thing, I see Executioner Circlet, I see Bruiser Circlet. Obviously, I'm going to go for the blue battery because it's just so completely bonkers on this comp. Like, your units gain ability power, and then they also gain mana after casting. So it's just really, really huge. Not sure if you ever hear that often in life, but we're gonna level up, drop in the Morgana, put the blue buff on her, and I think I build Static Shiv here, yeah, because I don't need this other tier, so just build the Static Shiv. But again, made a mistake before. Like, I should have Guardbreaker on. Not that it would make that big of a difference here, because I don't have the Executioners yet, but all good. Not the end of the world there. We're facing off against 2-star Vayne, double Rage Blade. They have a Jarvan already, 2 Jarvans actually, so yeah, we're gonna lose this. They have double trouble, so they have 2 Vaynes out there, 2 Jarvans, and 2 Ross. And yeah, like, not a good position because right after this round ends, I'm gonna be at 55 life on stage 3-2. That is completely awful because I can't do anything till level 8 because that's just how this comp is gonna play out. So unless there is like a different way I could use the blue buff, it could be with Veigar, but Veigar's a level 6 comp or like a 2-cost comp. I can't use Shopping Spree if I play around the Veigar. So this is a really, really, really bad situation here. If we lose, we have 3 more fights until we get to 4-1. If we lose all 3 of them, it's probably going to be like 10 to 12 HP losses every time. We're going to be at like 20 life. Really, really horrible situation. Because even if you hit your comp, if you just lose to like some random high roller who has like 3-star whatever, or like 3-star 4-cost later on, he hit legendaries early, or you know how that always, one person always gets that in every single game and they win out. You just lose. So you go 8th. So you cannot have 20 life going into stage 4. You want at least like 40, I'd say, is like the bare minimum to be like in a decent spot. And I'm only in 3-3 and I'm at 44 health. So going into this Carousel, ideally I see a Vex here. I just pick it up, but that doesn't happen because, as I said before in the beginning, this is not one of those like lucky games or anything. But I think I want to go for the Rod on Varus. Nope, someone takes that. Rod is very good because you need it to build Rabadons. But I take the belt. I kind of want to use up my bow on my bench because I don't think bow is useful at all to me anymore. Like, it could only really build Giant Slayer and Nashers too. So I'm like, let me just build one of those items on them. Like, just build the Nashers. because you generally, like, unless you're getting a best in slot item with your carousel picks, you often want to like kill bad components. So that's why I do that. Like, maybe I should have built a Giant Slayer though. Was there a sword on carousel? I forget. But yeah, it's on Jhin right now. He's like probably the worst holder of it. I'd ideally have all 3 of my items on Morgana, but I split up my items before for like exotech value. It's something I don't see a lot of players do, but I executed horribly here. This is what I mean by I played horribly, and we take another huge loss here. We're at 33 life. Holy cow. We get a Zeri in our next shop, which normally is good, but you have to keep in mind, like, we couldn't even get a Rage Blade before. You do have to keep in mind, Zeri isn't even part of this final build, so it's like, is she that important? No, probably not. Like, honestly, I should sell both her and Jhin for income here. But here's the crazy part. I end up winning this round, so I don't even get 5 loss streak gold into the neutral round. This person has Senna 2. They have like Jax 2. I don't know how I even win this. Like, I just have this Morgana in the back, and she's apparently good enough to kill everything. It really sucks because out of all the rounds to win, this is the worst one, and it's only a 1 unit win. So that completely greased my econ. If anyone says I got lucky this game, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm low life. Like, I don't have that many items that I like. Like, I get another bow here. Like, holy cow. I just spent my last carousel killing the bow. I get another bow here. I know I have a reforger. That's why I saved it for situations like this, but it's not a great situation. And then I level up. I only have 30 or 29 gold to roll down with. That's pretty bad considering I have shopping spree. You want like 50 gold to roll down with shopping spree because you will hit everything in most games, but this is not most games because I'm going to roll down. I do get a Sejuani, which is nice. I'm not going to complain about the Sejuani. I switch the items off. That's a little trick you can do with Exotech. You don't have to use item removers to remove the Exotech item. And then I'm going to put Hollow Bow on Jhin for now and then swap it on over to Varus later. But I rolled down. I don't get a single Vex when she's not contested. That sucks. Build the Stone Plate, drop that on Sejuani because, again, I'm going to save the belt and the glove for a guard breaker. I need to get rods off Carousel to build some AP item for my Vex. This bow, probably just going to reforge it after the Raptor round. But if I lose this round here, I'm going to be at like 20 life or something like that. I forget if I actually lose or win this one. Do I win this one? It'd actually be so big if I win. Holy cow, I actually win this one. I don't know how because my board is not that great. I guess blue buff Morgana is able to stabilize that well. But we had 1 buff, blue buff. Don't need that. Coronation's decent. Lucky Gloves. I don't really want that because I want to save the items for other stuff. So it's just Blazing Soul. I think Blazing Soul is going to be one of the best options because you just need a lot of AP in this build. Like, the attack speed doesn't matter as much, but the AP matters a ton, and that's what I want. But I'm going to roll down again. We have 20 more rerolls that are free. Get Sejuani, get Mordekaiser, and finally 1 Vex. So I play Vex in, and keep in mind, like with Shopping Spree, normally when I play Shopping Spree, and I do this and I have this many rolls and stuff like that, if I roll all the way down, I should have like Vex 2, Sejuani 2, and like all the other like 3 and 2 cost units 2-star. Like, it pretty much always happens like that because that's just how it is. I do make a mistake here, by the way. Do not put Nashor's Tooth on Vex. She just doesn't need it. So I should have put Nashor's on my Varus. I was thinking like, oh, I want 3 items on 1 person, but like Vex, she just doesn't need it because Nashor's Tooth gives attack speed, and you're looking at her right now, right? She's just casting the whole time. Like, she's barely attacking, so the attack speed does nothing. So never put Nashor's Tooth on Vex. Like, I haven't played Vex the entire set, so this is my first time doing it. And normally Nashor's is fine on like most AP units, but apparently not Vex because she just casts too quickly. But yeah, we're gonna roll down now. I finally get Vex 2, but you can see already, like, the Vex 1 just stabilized so hard. And I think at this point, it's like GG already, right? Like, I already have a Vex 2. I'm rolling down to get Sejuani and Varus too. Like, I think Varus is going to be a huge upgrade for me. One thing I've noticed is that people hate building Static Shiv because they think Static Shiv is not like a typical carry item or whatever you want to call it. And whenever they do it and they put it on someone, they think that they don't do that much damage because they're like missing a whole item. But this Varus actually cooks the entire match. Like, we can check the damage charts in a little bit. And despite not being the primary, like, he's keeping up with Vex on the right-hand side. On this Carousel, we finally get a rod, like, much needed. I was afraid the other person was about to take it based on the way they're walking, but we get a rod here. Along with infinite uses of tears, you also have, like, infinite uses of rods because eventually Viego can use all of them. I'm going to hold Vexes, though, because, like, no one goes Vex, so I'm just going to go for Vex 3. Like, if no one's going to click this unit, Don't mind if I do. I'm also gonna item remove this Nashor's off of Vex and just put the rod on her because like she's not using the item. She's using like the little bit of AP that it gives, but Varus is gonna make much better use of this Nashor's Tooth. Like we'll check the damage charts here. Like last fight, like look at that. Varus was like pretty close to Vex's damage despite being a 3 cost versus a 4 cost. But I mean here it's not fair to compare because she got Zephyr'd. Quite cringe of an augment, but whatever. I hate that one. I used to love Zephyr when you could build it manually because no one ever built it. So I built it a lot and annoy a lot of people. But ever since they added it to Augments, I hate facing it for some reason. But you guys saw here, right? Like Vex just completely cleans up every fight. I don't even know what she's doing. She's just casting every second. It's like auto cast, auto cast, auto cast. And it just ends up being like a ton of damage really, really quickly. Like do not build Archangel Staff on her because like she doesn't have time to stack that up. She just is blasting right from the get-go. That's why Rabidance is going to be a lot better than Archangels. Like Archangels is going to be good in like really long fights. So if you have like Fiddlesticks, for example, he plays with 6 Bruiser, and when you do that, you have infinite time to stack up that Archangel, right? Look at that, she just cleans that fight up. But see what I mean? Varus is like competing with the Vex. I know Varus has the extra item or whatever, but it's still pretty impressive because he's a 3 cost unit. Like if you play Vanguard Marksman with Aphelios and Xayah, I think they have a wider spread and they're like both 4 cost units, right? But in this build, like Varus and Vex, like pretty comparable. But yeah, back to strategy, because we had horrible econ before. Like we econ back up in the later parts of stage 4, and we're just gonna save our rerolls, go level 9, and get more rerolls after we get to level 9 and then play this Viego. I've been holding him on my bench a bunch. Yeah, reforge this bow because I hate bows in this build. And yeah, so we can build Thieves Glove and then we have the Rod. So I could build Hextech Gunblade. That's another good viable option on her, but I think Hat's much better. Like Gunblade's good and all, but Hat is just so much more damage that I'll just sacrifice having like a quote-unquote bad item with this Hextech Gunblade that I don't even care anymore. So yeah, Thieves Glove, the Mordekaiser, put the Gunblade on some random person. Yeah, we're just going to use Jhin for now. I'll put it on Viego later. It's like a decent item on him, right? Any sort of lifesteal is better than no lifesteal, and that means we could focus on building like Edge of Night for Viego and then some AP item, maybe like a Jeweled Gauntlet, Rabadon's Death Cap, things like that. But yeah, just another cleanup fight from Vex. Level up to 9 on 5-2. Maybe I could have held off on this, to be honest, but I have so many rerolls. I just want to play this Viego right away because we're at 33 life. If I was at like 45 or 50, like I would chill and I'd just relax, you know, but I don't have that luxury this game because the early game was so atrocious and I didn't even get much econ from it, as you saw before. Like we had Shopping Spree, we couldn't even use all our rolls during the first roll down, which was so funny because we just didn't have enough gold. And yeah, that's why I felt pressured to level up right away just so we don't lose due to some like random nonsense. Like I cannot take those unlucky fights where I lose by 1 unit. You know how those happen sometimes? It's like you decide like, oh, should I slam this item? Should I do this? Should I level up here and get that one little thing? And you're like, oh, probably won't make a difference. But then it does, and then you're like, hey, that's really bad because it was like a 30 HP swing because you could have dealt 15 to someone. Instead, you took 15 because you just didn't level up there and want to save like a couple gold. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge cheapo, both in-game and IRL, but in the late game of TFT, like gold doesn't matter anymore. So like you could be very cheap in the early game and try to make maximum econ all the time, and like normally that does work. But in the late game, don't try to spare that like 5 gold that you can save by delaying a level up, or even like a 10 gold you could save, because you just really need every life point you can get if you're below like 40 health. We're on the carousel here. You all know what I want. I want this Vex with the Bramble Vest. If it wasn't a Vex on carousel, I'd probably take the Jeweled Gauntlet or Giant Slayer, drop it on Viego. And don't you worry, I scouted around. No Vexes on anyone else's board, so we're just gonna roll down a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I also don't know how to fit Urgot here. I don't know how important Hollow Bow is. It's something I need to learn. After a few more games with the comp, I think I'll understand it a bit more. But since Hollow Bow is my 5th item, if I drop down to 3 Exotech, it's not going to be as good, right? Because I'm going to be missing a Varus item. And as you saw in the damage stats, right? Varus is cooking, like, pretty hard at that. So maybe I don't want to kind of drop down to 3 Exotech, unless I get like a lot of 2-star legendaries. So I think we end up selling this Urgot and Aurora. Don't get me wrong, they're both great units, and I probably do want them eventually, but I think right now I just want Vex 3, so I'm just going to focus on that. Varus 3 is going to be another great option too. I like kind of hiding my Vexes by spreading them out so people don't notice that I'm going for Vex 3, because people will ping you if they see it, and I just don't want that to happen. But here I think we're just going to wait till next stage to roll down. So I did not roll last turn. I'm just going to wait and roll all my gold at 6-1 and save a little bit more money. Like, I don't think people are going to be seeing it. Like, no one pinged me yet, so I'm not in a rush. But yeah, just blasting. I love the homing missiles from Vex. If like a target dies while she's casting, it just goes to the next one. That's a huge improvement. There's some units in previous sets where that doesn't happen, like your projectile goes into the dead unit, and I wonder how big of a difference that makes. Like, how much damage buff does she need if it didn't follow onto the next unit? Like, would she need like a 20% damage buff, a 50% damage buff, a 10% damage buff? Who really knows? But let's do the roll down here. I got a lot of gold, by the way, like 70 some, almost 80 gold. Let's buy the 4 cost, roll down a bit. What's criminal is that I could have hit so many Urgots and so many Auroras, but I just skipped them because I'm just looking for Vex. But what's even stranger is that where are my Viegos? Viego's like probably the best unit in the game. And yeah, we get a jeweled gauntlet there. Good Viego item for later on. The Crown Guard, I was debating, like, at this point in the game, if I have 1-star Viego, Crown Guard might be a bit better because it allows him to be a bit more resilient. He's not going to do that much damage as 1-star with the jeweled gauntlet, right? So there's an argument for Crown Guard. Like, I think it's pretty decent, but I was like, I have so much gold, I have to hit Viego 2-star eventually, right? Like, so that's why I kind of went with the jeweled gauntlet. But I think there are some cases where you just want him to be a bit tanky, just to move the techie buff around everywhere, maybe apply it 1 or 2 more times because he lives a little bit longer. But I see another Viego. I'm rolling for the Viego, not so much for the Vex here even. It's just like the 2-star's just a huge upgrade, right? But buy all the 4 costs, roll down. Do I see any? No. I want the Varus still because he does cook a lot, and we finally get Vex. Absolutely disgusting. Obviously, the game is GG right now. And yes, you heard it here first. I got to Vex 3 before I got Viego 2. She doesn't even like, okay, double Protector's Vow and Radiant BT. They actually are resistant to this Vex. That's actually crazy, right? She had to 2-tap them instead of 1-tap them. She did a 4,000 damage crit. Holy cow. Now when we look at the damage chart, Varus is not doing too much anymore, but that's okay. Next shop, what do we get? We get a Viego 2. Oh my god, yeah. Probably remove the item from Jhin, put that on Viego. Honestly, I could even reforge the Jax item here just to see if I get a Viego item. I probably should do that, right? I forget if I do it or not. No, I end up not. Looking back at it though, I think I should have done it. Like, even if I get a horrible item, it's better than having it on Jax. Like, what's that Bramble actually doing on Jax? Probably not much, right? But oh my god, AoE crit, boom, 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 and dead. Was that game? Did I face the other guy with my ghost? No, so we have 1 more round. Let's go on the carousel. There's a Rabadon's death cap for my Viego, so that's disgusting. I see a Varus here. Can we get the Varus 3? That's going to be a huge power spike, right? And we need it. Do I end up rolling here? I also see the Urgot. Like, I don't know. I probably should replace the Morgana with Urgot. Normally, you should only play the Morgana with Aurora. That way, you get the 3 Dynamo in, but we're not even running Aurora right now, so I know she gives Divinicorp or whatever, but the Urgot's got to be better, right? Like, I feel like it has to be. I haven't done the math because Divinicorp gives crit too, but I don't get this Varus 2-star or 3-star, whatever you want to call it, which is unfortunate. And this guy's Prowler's Claw, Radiant Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, Jarvan, just not enough for 3-star Vex. And I know, like, 3-star's 3-star. If I had 2-star, maybe he does win, but all I know is that this comp stabilized way too hard in the mid game, and I think people should be spamming this all the time, especially since no one else is playing it. But honestly, even if you don't hit a Vex 1, Varus is actually cooking a lot too. But try this comp out. Let me know how it goes for you. If you want to refer to it, go to bunnymuffins.lol/meta. It's going to be there. It's in the A tier right now. I don't think it's S tier unless it's uncontested, but right now it's uncontested, so let's just be playing it. And I don't think it needs to be nerfed or anything. I think more people just need to start playing it. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.